People cheat in different situations and many believe it's about sex, but the real reasons for cheating usually lie much deeper. This video will be useful for all, for those who have been cheated on and for those who cheated. If you're first time on my channel, my name is Karina and welcome to Universe Solve. Here we discuss mental health, true crime, relationships and much more. First, let's talk about how do people usually explain their cheating. Well, they often blame the circumstances, don't they? It just happened. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I had too much alcohol. Let's say your husband went for a business trip and had a couple of drinks after the meeting. His pretty assistant takes the chance and confesses that she has a crush on him for ages and invites him for an innocent walk along the beach. If only he had gone up to his room straight away. If only he had stopped at one glass of wine. If only the night had been cold, then he would not have cheated. Another common explanation people give is that cheating boosted their confidence. Well, we agree, everyone wants to feel attractive, sexy, smart, interesting. And when someone tells you that your smile lights up the whole room, or that you have the most beautiful green eyes, or you are the person they have been looking for all their life, and they seem genuine, it becomes very difficult to resist this attention, and with low self-esteem especially. Combined with this kicks in another desire to spice up your dull, predictable life. Someone admits the passion in their current relationship is gone and they just clicked with another person, it was pure chemistry. For some people, the absence of sparks and butterflies in the stomach is a sufficient reason for cheating. They are constantly pursuing intense emotions and sensations. Another explanation for cheating is revenge and anger, either because you've been cheated on first or it could be for something else. It's like, I just want to see your face when you find out. You hurt me so much, now it's your time to get what you deserve. In the long run, this is certainly a bad idea. If you attend psychotherapy, you will quickly realize that revenge cheating didn't save your situation, and more likely it triggered even bigger indifference or turned your relationships into something toxic. Sounds contradictory, but some people explain their infidelities by saying that it helped them to save their relationship with their main partner. Imagine a situation, your child's very sick and you as a couple, you reached your limits, there's no romance between you, there's a lot of financial stress due to expensive medical bills, you hardly speak to each other and when you speak you rather shout. But your partner decides that a divorce is not an option right now, mostly for your child's benefit, and chooses to cheat instead to release this stress and tension. Or cheating can be a consequence of sex addiction. A sign of sexual addiction is preoccupation with sex that interferes with person's daily life and ruins their relationships. They really struggle to control themselves. They look for compulsive sex with different people, sometimes complete strangers. It may also include constantly watching porn, sex in public, sex with escorts, swinger clubs. But this is different from polyamory, when you agreed to open your relationship or when both of you are highly sexually adventurous. Sex addiction is more about a distractive pattern of behavior and usually behind your back. Distance is another trigger for cheating. Often couples live far apart due to work or family arrangements, and when one partner is away for a long time, the other begins to feel lonely and may connect with someone else to fill this void inside, and slowly your relationship begins to dissolve and what was precious and dear to you becomes quite vague. Perhaps initially there was no intention to have a long-term relationship. Sometimes people, they sabotage what they have, consciously or subconsciously, just to get rid of responsibilities and remain carefree. But do you see the invisible line that links all these situations? People cheat because they are trying to fulfill their emotional needs that for some reason they feel are neglected in their current relationship. Even when they tell you it was just sex, they had too much to drink, it meant nothing. This is not entirely true. Most sex is usually initiated by our need to connect and belong. Sex is not so much about physical need. It's not the same as needing food or water. when you literally die if you don't have it. Sex is about communication, expression, connection, curiosity, fulfillment of our feelings, and all of these are emotional needs. Do you see the difference? If a person's emotional need is to feel successful and important, sex can provide this opportunity. I don't know, through dominance, role play, for instance. Some people value beauty a lot, in art, in nature, in food, in humans' body shape, and they would always look for someone who is physically attractive and takes care of their body. You'd say they chase the looks and are shallow, and I'd say they crave perfection. Some use sex as a form of escape from depression, stress, grief, and other negatively charged emotions. Here people are trying to fulfill their need for peace and harmony. So next time you have sex, ask yourself, what is the true purpose of it? The moment people choose to cheat, they genuinely believe that this will make them happier and more emotionally satisfied in that moment. Meeting our emotional needs leads us to feeling content and in flow. If your emotional needs are ignored, either in a relationship or by society or by your parents, then you will feel disappointed, empty, dissatisfied, sometimes very frustrated and angry. Not all people, however, will choose cheating as a way out of this impasse. Someone chooses gambling, someone works 12 hours a day, someone inks tattoos all over their body in order to feel accepted, admired, respected, secure, worthy, powerful, reassured, or connected. Everyone has their own unique set of emotional needs. This is the result of genetics, upbringing, character, culture, habits, environment, and so on. Why do people lie and don't admit they cheated? Essentially, it's their attempt to keep a positive view of themselves. People want to believe that they're kind and honest, moral, that they're doing the right thing. Otherwise, society will reject them. In our Western system, it's especially a taboo to change partners when you are in a relationship, and no one wants to be a bad apple. So instead, cheaters resort to all sorts of manipulations to present a positive facade of themselves to others, even if their behavior is in direct conflict with reality. So instead of admitting that they are lying and distorting facts, they justify themselves. Again, this is an emotional need for this particular person, because not everyone lies. Someone immediately can admit that they cheated or they were about to cheat. But for this specific person, it's important to be good, to be perfect, to fit in. Another thing, our emotional needs, they change throughout our lives. It's not a static substance. So you can fall in love with your perfect guy, but 10 years later struggle to see why you fell in love with him. Or you can be sure that you married till death do us part, but 2 years into marriage, run away from your spouse. This happens because your emotional needs have changed since you met them. And the more surprised you are now, the less you knew about your true needs and how they fluctuate, or about what your loved one really wants and how their needs also reshape as time goes on. But are we able to fully give a person what they need? Are we obligated to do so in our relationships? And where is this fine line when we begin to go against ourselves? Firstly, being aware of your own emotional needs will help you deal better with any life's challenges. And this doesn't apply to romantic relationships only, it applies to all of your relationships. To understand your needs, ask yourself, what is my priority right now? What are my values? What do I feel? How do I feel it? Is anything inside me feels blocked? If you're in a relationship, explore your needs together with your partner. Learn about their needs too. The important thing here is to let them speak without drawing parallels to how much they do love you or they don't, based on what they reveal about themselves. You can't stop anyone from desiring something. It will be in them with you or without you. Sounds painful, but that's the ultimate truth, my friend. But here you need to remember that their emotional needs and whether you can meet them or not doesn't determine your worth. You're a valuable person by universal design, not by people's expectations of you. It's crucial to realize this. And the same thing goes in the opposite direction, of course. Your emotional needs do not determine your partner's value in this world. You and your loved one are two different energies. In some ways you're similar, in some ways you're different. Wanting to meet each other's emotional needs should be a completely conscious decision of you both. Together, on mutual terms, you decide whether you are ready to find ways to satisfy both your own needs as well as the needs of your partner in the context of your relationship with them. Don't look at your neighbors, friends, what your mom tells you to do. This is your relationship, and you have the right to make your own decisions and find out what suits you both and what doesn't. In most cases, when people are honest with each other and they know their core emotional needs, when they create this emotionally safe space where no one is judged or gaslighted, it turns out that there are many ways to be happy together and deal with imperfections. Is it possible to stay together after infidelity? Yes, it's quite possible, and many couples, they reunite. If both people want to improve their relationship, if the one who cheated takes accountability and responsibility for not being completely open, and the one who was cheated on won't sabotage the restoration of trust, this is quite realistic. But you will have to learn to dig deeper and reveal your most hidden, most intimate, most vulnerable, somewhere far from ideal sides of you. An intimate interaction is a step further the usual everyday conversation level, how are you, or did you buy milk? This is something very personal. Open communication doesn't take place when one of you is watching TV or scrolling Instagram or constantly is busy with work. Don't lie to yourself. An intimate conversation is a time specifically allocated to unveiling how you really feel inside your mind and inside your soul. It's about discussing problems, achievements, failures, dreams, fears, goals, desires, and much more. People fall in love again and again with a person who continues to have this emotionally charged conversation with them. And betrayal will simply be irrelevant. 70% of breakups are caused by poor communication, not by desire to cheat. When should you not try rebuilding your relationship after cheating? When it becomes obvious that your partner's main emotional need is to feel superior to you. When they use you, they blackmail you, gaslight you, humiliate you, when they're not interested in what's important to you, when they're emotionally unavailable, they don't exhibit any vulnerability. In this case, you are in an abusive relationship, and it's better to consider getting out of this situation. I have a video on domestic abuse and how to leave an abuser. Please check it out. What is a healthy relationship then, in which there is a very small probability of cheating? In this relationship, you can be yourself, you feel accepted, you feel comfortable and cozy, you are best friends, you are rather similar than not, and most values are the same. You're a team, but at the same time, you have your own identity outside of this relationship. You know who you are and what your goals are. In a healthy relationship, you open up, you flourish, you expand, you feel bigger, not smaller. Power is divided equally. Everyone equally decides where to buy a house, when to have children, whether to start a business or not. You trust each other and you don't hide your weaknesses. When problems arise like jealousy, disrespect, or stress, because every relationship has its downfalls, of course, but the difference is that it's immediately verbalized. You know how to express your frustration, how to resolve conflicts. You are not afraid of responsibility, and your partner is not afraid of responsibility. You know your partner's love language, how to touch them, what present to give, what compliment to say, what restaurant to go to. And with each new day, you move to a level of your relationship where you feel closer, not more distant. Thank you for joining me today. I hope cheating will no longer be your problem. If you still feel really down and heartbroken because your connection with someone fell apart, I have a video on how to deal with being rejected or cheated on. Check it out. For now, I wish you the strength to leave all chaos behind you and find the harmony you deserve. See you soon, my wonderful souls.